In this video, I am going to show you how to find the product of 28 times 34 by using partial products. Okay, so partial products, the root word tells us what we're actually doing. So we know a product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Partial, the root word there is part. So for this strategy, what we're doing is we're taking parts of the factors, finding those parts, and then putting it together. Think part, part, whole, okay? So for this method, I'm going to take one of my factors. It doesn't matter which one. You can use either one. And I'm going to break it down into place value. I normally pick the first one just because, okay? But you can always choose the second one. Either factor would work. So I'm going to take my 28 and I'm going to break it apart into place value. So 28 becomes 20 plus 8. Okay, so that's the part, 28. Well, I need to multiply both of those parts by 34. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 34 and I'm going to write it twice. Okay, this will become part of my answer. This will become part of my answer. Now that I've broken this up into place value, I take those two numbers and I put 1 under each 34. So I'm going to take the 20 and I'm going to take the 8. Now I'm going to do both of those answers. So over here, when I'm multiplying by a multiple of 10, one of the easiest tricks, well, I call it a trick. It's not really a trick. There's no magic to it, because normally when we say trick, we mean like a magic trick. It's not magic, okay? This 0 is a placeholder, and it's telling me that there are no digits. There's nothing in the ones place. So what I need to do is I'm going to put that 0 here, because this says there's nothing in the ones. This written right here says there's nothing in the ones, okay? So again, not magic, I'm bringing it down because there's nothing in the ones place, okay? So since there's nothing in the ones place, I'm gonna go to the tens place. Now, this 2 is really a 20, right? But we've already dealt with the ones place. So now I can think of this as just a 2. What I want to do is multiply that times the ones place in the 34. So 2 times 4 is 8. Then I'm going to go to the tens place. 2 times 3 is 6. So 34 times 20 is 680, okay? If it helps you understand, let's just forget this 0 for a second, okay? If I'm doing 34 times 2, well, 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. Notice, 68, 68, right? So by putting this 0, again, I'm saying that there's nothing in the ones place, okay? So another way to say that is I have 34 times 2 tens, okay? 34 groups with 2 tens in each of those groups, okay? Over here, this one's a little simpler because I don't have to worry about the 0, okay? It's just 2-digit times a 1-digit number. So I first go 8 times 4, which is 32. I then go here, 8 times 3 is 24, plus my 3. Don't forget to regroup, okay? So 24 plus 3 is 27, okay? So now that I have both of those partial products, now I add them together. So 680 plus 272. Well, 0 plus 2 is 2. 8 plus 7 is 15. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So my answer to 28 times 34 is 952. So there you have a 2-digit times a 2-digit partial products problem. So now let's use that same strategy to do a 3-digit times 2-digit. Okay, so I'm going to do 281 times 34. All right, now this one, I don't want to take my 281 and separate it into place value because that would mean I'd have 3 problems to do. Okay, I could do that. It's perfectly fine if I wanted to do that, but it's actually more work. So what I'm going to do is this time I'm going to take my 34, since that's only a 2-digit factor. I'm going to take that 34 and do what I did up here and break it down into place value. So 34 becomes 30 plus 4. And I'm going to keep my 281. Okay? And just to show you, if you just really wanted to break down that 3-digit instead of the 2-digit, 281 becomes 200 plus 80 plus 1. Okay? But if you did that, that would mean that you would have to multiply all of these 3 factors times 34. Okay? Which again, you could do. Okay? But doing it the way I'm going to show you here will only be 2 partial products rather than 3. Okay? So it's a little bit less work. So I'm going to keep my 281. I'm going to write that down 2 times. And I've broken apart my 34 into 30 and 4. Okay? So let's do this one first. Since we did the tens last time, let's do this one first. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 2 is 8. Do not forget to add in your 3. Okay? If you forget to add in your 3, this 3 is in the hundreds place. So if you forget that 3, then you're going to be 300 off of your actual answer. Okay? So again, that was 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 3 is 11. Okay? So that's that partial product. Now, coming over here, I'm going to place this 0 right here because this 0 is telling me that there are no 1s. Okay? So for this problem, there are no 1s. If it helps you, cross off the 0 so you know you're done with that. So now it's 281 times 3. Okay? Always 1s first. 3 times 1 is 3. Then the 10s. 3 times 8 is 24. Then the hundreds. 3 times 2 is 6. Don't forget your 2. That gives you 8. Okay? So here's your 2 partial products. Now, to find your answer, you need to add both of those together. Okay? So I'm just going to place this partial product over here. And I'm going to add the 2 together. So 0 plus 4 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. 8 plus 1 is 9. So the answer to 281 times 34 is 9,554. So as you can see, if you watched the last video of box method, this takes a little bit less time. And we can kind of break it apart a little bit. And so it's not so hard as the standard algorithm. However, it should be quicker than the box method, especially when you get to the 3-digit times 2-digit. So hopefully we're okay with this strategy and we can start using that more.